Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to be taking a better in-depth look at the devil's hand leather coral. Devil's hand leather corals take on bizarre shapes with numerous finger-like lobes protruding from the base of the coral. They are quite hardy and make great beginner corals. If you want to place one of these corals in your tank, using IC gel glue or putty on an exposed rock or ledge in the middle of the aquarium where they will receive moderate currents and moderate to high lighting is ideal. Leaving a few inches around them, and be considerate that they will often begin to shade other corals around them as they grow larger. Although symbiotic algae called zooxanthellae hosted within them supply most of their nutritional requirements through photosynthesis, they do require supplemental feedings of plankton and marine snow. You can observe this feeding by seeing their small polyps that they have extend out with a spread of finger-like grabbers that they use to receive their food as it is passing by in the water. It is common to see them retract at sundown as they begin to consume the day's catch. Lighting and flow requirements for these corals are moderate to low on the lighting scale. It requires at least a power level of 80 to 250. T5s, Halides, or Halides can all grow leather corals under the proper power levels are at least provided. It is recommended at least a 14 to 20,000 color spectrum for the best coloration of these corals. These corals are extremely peaceful for your tank. You can find these in the ocean in the Indo-Pacific. They typically like their water to between 75 and 80 degrees, salinity at 1.025, pH between 8.1 to 8.4, calcium 420 to 444 parts per million, and alkalinity 8 to 9.5 DKH, magnesium 1260 to 1350, nitrates less than 10 parts per million, phosphates less than 0.10 parts per million. Providing additional iodine will help the devil's hand leather corals grow. Most good salt mixes will provide enough iodine through water changes. It is important that the proper calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium levels are maintained. Raising magnesium levels gradually up to 1400 or as mostly to 1600 parts per million can help combat algae outbreaks within your tank. Just keep the calcium and the alkalinity in line as you raise the magnesium. As always, your nitrate should be below 10 parts per million, and the phosphate should be below 0.10 parts per million. I recommend doing a water change when the nitrate levels rises to 10 parts per million. It is important to replace your phosphate media when your phosphate rises to 0.10 parts per million. Media reactors make the most efficient use of your phosphate media by fluidizing it. A dosing pump can really help eradicate the chore of manually dosing your aquarium with calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium 2 to 4 times a week. It will benefit your aquarium by keeping your levels constant dosing, but as a drawback, if you don't have your dosing pumps hooked up to a live monitoring system that will stop the dosing when the levels are too high, you can end up overdosing your tank and causing further problems. Hence why I personally don't use dosing pumps. You may notice once or twice a month, if not more often, that your mushroom has a white appearance. Soon after a day or two, a white flakiness of skin will appear to be blowing off and shedding. This is normal growth pattern as they shed layers, and a wet likeness appearance may occur, which is also normal as well. Having a mild flow will help aid the removal of the skin from its tops. This is actually common for this family species in the ocean. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and notify button as well to stay up to date with all the videos as soon as they are released. Also, hit that like button. It's just a small way you can help my channel out. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and as always, happy reefing, happy life.